My parents went on a luxury vacation with my sister without me because they could not afford to spend enough money on my sister. I'm 17 now, and my family situation has been annoying for as long as I can remember. I have a younger sister, Lisa, who's 15. My parents always give her what she wants right away. If she asks for a new phone, they buy it. If she wants to go to the mall, they take her that day. I don't get the same treatment. When I ask for something, they say they'll think about it, or that they don't have enough money. But they always find money for Lisa. She's the youngest, and they treat her like she's special. They've been doing this since she was little, giving her toys or snacks whenever she got upset. I never got that. I don't hate Lisa because she's my sister, but I don't like how my parents favor her. She acts like everything should be given to her, and they encourage it. I've tried pointing this out before, but it doesn't work. When I refuse to go along with what she wants or argue with her, my parents get mad at me. They tell me I'm wrong for not being kind to her. They say I should treat her better since she's younger. This has been happening for years. If I fight with her, they punish me, but she gets away with everything. It's tiring, and it's only gotten harder now that we're both teenagers. Living with Lisa and my parents is a daily reminder of how uneven things are. She's 15, and she knows she's got the upper hand. If she wants new clothes, they're in her room by the weekend. If she needs a ride to a friend's house, they drop everything to make it happen. I'm 17, and I can't even get them to buy me a new pair of sneakers without a lecture about saving money. It's not just the small stuff either. Lisa's been on all these trips, summer camps, school programs, even a weekend at the beach with her friends last year. I've never been out of the country. Never even been on a plane. Every time I bring it up, they say it's too expensive or that I don't need it. I don't sit quietly about it anymore. I argue with Lisa a lot, tell her she's spoiled, that she doesn't deserve half the stuff she gets. She just rolls her eyes or runs to mom and dad. They always take her side. They'll yell at me for starting trouble, say I'm being unfair to her. Once I refused to help her with a school project she'd begged for supplies for, and they grounded me for a week. Lisa got her A, and I got stuck in my room. It's the same pattern every time. They act like she's perfect, and I'm the problem. I've started pushing back harder because I'm sick of it, but that just makes them double down. Things got worse when my parents started talking about a big family trip. It came up at dinner one night. They said they wanted to do something special, a luxury vacation abroad. I got excited because I'd never been anywhere like that. They were throwing around ideas like Europe or some fancy beach resort. Lisa's eyes lit up, and she started listing all the places she wanted to go: Paris, London, some island with a name I can't pronounce. I figured this was finally my chance to see something outside our boring town. For once, it sounded like we'd all get to do something cool together. I started thinking about what I'd pack, what I'd want to see. But then Lisa took over. She didn't just stop at naming places, she made a whole list. She wanted new clothes for the trip, a suitcase, specific tours, shopping money. My parents nodded along, writing stuff down like it was no big deal. I didn't say much at first, just listened. They'd never planned anything this big before, and I assumed it'd be for all of us. I was wrong. A few days later, they sat me down and said they'd crunched the numbers. Lisa's list was expensive, way more than they expected. They couldn't afford it all and still take me. So, their solution was to leave me behind. They said it matter-of-factly, like it was obvious. I couldn't believe it. They were picking her wish list over me again, and this time it was for something I'd never even gotten a shot at. After they told me I wasn't going on the trip, I lost it. They sat there on the couch, explaining it like it was a simple math problem. Lisa's stuff costs too much, so I stay home. I told them it wasn't fair. I'd never been abroad, never had a big trip, while Lisa's been on plenty. I said they could cut back on her ridiculous list, skip the new clothes, the extra tours, and still take me. They didn't budge. Mom said Lisa deserved this, that she's younger and hasn't had as many opportunities. Dad backed her up, saying they'd already promised Lisa, and it'd be wrong to take it away. I pointed out they'd never promised me anything like this, ever. They just stared at me, annoyed. The argument went on for hours. I kept pushing, told them they always choose her, that I'm tired of being left out. They got mad, said I was selfish for not supporting Lisa's happiness. I yelled back that they're the selfish ones, throwing money at her while ignoring me. Lisa came downstairs at some point, smirking like she knew she'd won again. I told her she didn't need half the stuff she asked for, and she started crying, fake tears, obviously. My parents turned it on me, said I was bullying her, that I should be ashamed. I stormed off to my room, done with it. They didn't care what I thought, they'd already made up their minds. The trip was happening, and I wasn't part of it. The days after the fight were tense. My parents acted like nothing was wrong. They went back to planning the trip, talking about flights and hotels at the dinner table. Lisa kept adding to her list, showing them pictures of dresses and souvenirs she wanted. I stopped talking to them. I'd eat in my room or stay out with friends just to avoid it. They didn't seem to care, kept going on about how great this vacation would be. I'd hear them laughing with Lisa, making it sound like some dream getaway, while I was stuck wondering why I didn't matter as much. It wasn't just about the trip anymore. It was years of this crap piling up, and they couldn't see it. The morning they left, I woke up to suitcases by the door. Mom was double-checking passports, Dad was loading the car, and Lisa was taking selfies in her new travel outfit. They'd gone shopping for her the week before, got her everything she'd asked for. I stayed in my room, didn't come down to say goodbye. Mom knocked once, said they'd be back in 2 weeks, told me to be good, while they were gone. I didn't answer. I heard the car pull out, and that was it, they were gone. The house was empty, quiet in a way it never is with them around. I sat there, 17 years old, alone, while my family flew off to some luxury spot without me. They'd chosen her again, and I was left behind like it was nothing. I spent that first day just wandering the house. The fridge had leftovers they didn't take. Lisa's old clothes were still scattered in the laundry room, little reminders they'd been here planning without me. I checked my phone, no text from them, not even a sorry. I thought about calling my grandma or an aunt, but I didn't want to explain it. Instead, I grabbed some chips and turned on the TV, trying to distract myself. It didn't work. All I could think about was them landing somewhere fancy, Lisa probably already bragging about it online. I'd never felt so cut out of my own family before. The first week they were gone was strange. I had the house to myself, which sounded cool at first. 17, no parents, no rules. I stayed up late playing video games, ordered pizza, left dishes in the sink. But it got old fast. The quiet started bothering me. I'd walk past Lisa's room, see her stuff everywhere, and get mad all over again. My parents didn't call, just sent one text saying they'd landed safe. Nothing else. I checked Lisa's Instagram out of curiosity. She was posting pics of beaches, fancy dinners, some castle they'd visited. Every post was her smiling with Mom and Dad, like I didn't exist. I stopped looking after that. I kept busy to avoid thinking about it. Hung out with my friend Jake. He's got a beat-up car, so we drove around town, hit the skate park, messed around at the arcade. He asked why I wasn't on the trip, and I told him the whole deal. He said it sucked, that my parents were unfair. Hearing that from someone else made me feel less crazy. I started wondering what I'd do if they kept pulling this, favoring Lisa forever. I couldn't just keep taking it. By the end of the week, I was less angry and more numb. They were off having their luxury vacation, and I was here stuck, but at least I had some space to figure things out. 2 weeks passed, and my parents and Lisa came back. I heard the car pull in one afternoon, while I was on the couch watching TV. The front door opened, and they walked in with suitcases and bags of stuff they'd bought. Lisa was showing off a new necklace, talking loud about some market they'd gone to. Mom looked tired but happy, and Dad started unloading groceries they'd picked up on the way home. They acted like everything was normal, like leaving me behind wasn't a big deal. Mom asked how I'd been, said the house looked okay, nothing about the trip. I didn't answer much, just nodded and kept watching my show. I wasn't ready to play nice. Later, they started unpacking. Lisa's room filled up with souvenirs, clothes, a little statue, some fancy candy. They'd gotten me nothing, not even a keychain. At dinner, they talked about the vacation nonstop, how great the food was, how pretty the views were. Lisa went on about a boat ride she'd loved. I sat there, eating, not saying a word. They didn't ask me to join in or check if I cared. It was like I hadn't missed anything important to them. That night, I decided I was done trying to fit into their plans. They could have their perfect little trio. I'd figure out my own way from now on. After they got back, things didn't change much. My parents went back to their routine, work, doting on Lisa, pretending I was fine with it all. Lisa kept showing off her trip stuff to her friends, and they'd ask me why I didn't go. I'd shrug, say I didn't want to, even though that wasn't true. I stopped arguing with them as much. Fighting just got me nowhere. Instead, I focused on my own stuff. I picked up more hours at my part-time job at the gas station, started saving cash. I wasn't sure what for yet, maybe a car, maybe a trip of my own someday. It felt good to have something they couldn't touch. School started up again, and that kept me busy too. I'd stay late for study groups or hang out with Jake and some other guys. Being around people who didn't treat me like a second choice helped. My parents noticed I was out more, asked where I was going, but I kept it short. They didn't push hard, probably figured I'd get over the trip thing eventually. Lisa still got whatever she wanted, new headphones one week, a concert ticket the next, but I stopped caring as much. I was 17, almost out of high school, and I realized I didn't have to wait for them to include me. I could build my own life, even if it took time. It's been a few months since the trip, and I'm still living with my parents and Lisa. They haven't changed, Lisa's still the favorite, and they still give her everything she asks for. Last week, she wanted a new jacket, and they bought it no questions asked. I needed new shoes for work, and they told me to wait till next month. It's the same old pattern, but I don't let it get to me like before. I've got my job, my friends, and a couple thousand saved up now. I'm planning to move out after I turn 18, maybe get a cheap place with Jake or someone else. I want out of this house, away from being the odd one out. The trip taught me something. They're not going to stop picking her over me. I don't know why they do it, and I don't care anymore. I'm done waiting for them to see me the way they see her. I'll graduate soon, and I've been looking at community college or trade school, something to keep me going. My parents talk about Lisa's future a lot, her college plans, but they don't ask about mine. That's fine. I've got my own path, and I'll take it without them. One day, I'll go abroad too, on my terms, with my money. Until then, I'm just biding my time, building what I can, and leaving their little world behind.